Hi everybody, how's it going today? Thanks for watching another video.
Got my sidekick Ian with me here today.
We're in one of the milking cow barns here, the south barn, south of the parlor. What I wanted to talk about today was a change up that we're doing with our rations, for two groups of cows. So there's two pens here on this half of this barn. To my left here and to my right, that's pen 6. This is pen 5. And pen 6 houses our late lactation cows, and pen 5 prior to yesterday was a high production pen of third plus lactation cows. Some second lactation were in there as well. Something that we've been talking about for quite a while, and what we've done in the past was feed a late lactation ration to our late lactation cows. We did that probably 3-ish years ago or so. Then we had 2 late lactation pens, and we were drying off cows out of both pens. We probably, like I said, probably about 2-3 years ago, we switched to just 1 late lactation pen, and then just fed that pen the high cow ration, and those cows, because they're producing less, they're just eating a little bit less feed, but the ration was not necessarily tailored towards those cows. And the reason we did that was for simplicity in feeding. So we can load about 2 pens worth of feed, so
it made it easier for feeding if we had 1 pen of late lactation cows to just feed them the high cow ration, so we wouldn't have to split and make 2 loads for this one barn, or this one half barn.
The reason we went to 1 late lactation pen was it makes it a lot easier.
What's she doing? Moving her head up and down? Yeah.
But the reason we went to 1 late lactation pen, and it makes it a lot easier for our herd guys when we're drying off cows. So we're just drying off out of 1 pen. Usually the night herdsman will sort those cows out by himself, and at 5 o'clock at shift change in the morning, then they dry off those cows and move them to our far off dry cow pen. The herdsman in the day will do that, because there were 2 in the day. And just for simplicity reasons, we did it that way. And then also we had cows in those pens that were producing over 100 pounds. That were still a couple months away from needing to be dry. So we were giving up some milk, or I thought we were giving up milk, by feeding those cows the late lactation ration. Just thought the group was too big.
Just had 2 phone calls, and I don't remember what I was saying.
I think I was talking about why we went away from late lactation rations and the 2 pens. Sorting cows out, and then feeding cows that are still producing a lot of milk. The late lactation ration didn't make a lot of sense to me, but I've always kind of been talking about it with our nutritionist here, especially the last 6 months or so, and the last couple months, especially with milk prices not being very good here lately. We decided to try something different than what we've done before. The main cost for us is feed cost, so if we can save a little bit in feed cost, it's worth it, hopefully. So what we ended up doing now is kind of not what we did before, where we had 2 pens of late lactation cows. So we still kept this 1 pen here. Pen 6 is all of our late lactation cows, and then this pen 5 where Ian is standing here by the cows. This is going to be a mid-lactation pen, essentially. So the far 2 pens in this barn, they're high production pens, mainly third plus lactation with some second lactation cows. And then in our north barn, there'd be 1 pen of high production cows, third lactation plus, and some second lactation. And then there'd be 3 pens of high production first lactation with a few second lactation in there. So essentially the way it's going to work now is we're going to go from the high production pens into this pen 5,
And then from this pen 5, when they're about 200-ish days pregnant, they'll go into pen 6. And the reason why we're doing that, so this pen 6 is being milked twice a day because there's some cows in here that are fairly low in production. If they're producing 60 pounds near the end of lactation, they don't necessarily need to go to the parlor 3 times. And the pen 5 will continue to milk 3 times a day, and pen 6 will get 100% late lactation ration, and pen 5, where Ian is, they are getting 80% late lactation ration. And then in the afternoon, we feed all of our high production pens second batch of feed. So this pen of mid lactation cows, they're getting another 20% of high lactation ration, essentially.
If that makes sense. So the kind of like the way that should work in theory. I like being able to still sort cows out of the one pen, milking the one pen 2 times a day, where the cows are not producing as much milk just before dry off. But being able to hopefully save a little bit on feed cost. So essentially the biggest change in rations, and you're really not even going to be able to see it visually, the ration still looks very similar. We can walk over to the other side of this barn here and look at that ration, but
the main difference is these girls are going to be getting more forage and less protein and energy, essentially. I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that, but that's the idea, I guess, to cheapen up the ration a little bit. And I didn't look at the ration cost. I could probably do that here before I end the video and see what the difference per cow per day is.
And in theory, we're going to lose milk production in these 2 pens for sure, but they're also going to increase in butterfat and protein. So I'm going to see if we can kind of watch that to see how much milk we lose and how much components we gain, to see what the actual change is in profit per cow per day, or dollars of milk sold per cow per day, however you want to talk about it. But I will be able to look and see what, in theory, the ration change cost will be per cow. I mean, I know exactly what pen 6 is eating, and pen 5, that is going to fluctuate a little now with us moving a bunch of cows out and a bunch of cows in there. But we'll be able to tell pretty closely to see what our actual feed savings are per cow per day by going to this ration. The one downfall that I have thought about, or that is something to consider and maybe think about in the future if we want to stick this route, is we're moving cows an extra time. So now they're going, instead of going from a high lactation pen to the late lactation pen, they're going to the mid lactation pen and then to the late lactation pen. So it's an extra move there. Not overly concerned, because they're going to be moved into the mid lactation pen in groups of 10 to 20-ish. I try to move only out of 2 or 3 high production pens a week, so we're not moving cows out of all the pens all the time. And then they're going to go from that mid to late lactation pen in groups of around 30, depending on how many cows are being dried off that week. So they're being moved in groups. It's not like there's just 1 or 2 cows being moved into a pen of new cows, which can be a problem sometimes. Boss cows, if you get some cows that are not as aggressive, they can be bullied a little bit. But if they're going in groups together, they have some familiar herd mates going with them. So we'll keep an eye on that, but I'm also not super concerned, because they're all pregnant cows. They're all getting closer to the end of lactation, so they're not going to be as aggressive. They shouldn't be in heats or anything like that. So we'll definitely watch it, keep an eye on it, but kind of thinking and hoping that this should be a good change to save us a little bit of money, especially when feed costs are still really high. Milk price is not very good. Hopefully it doesn't last too long like this. Typically those things go hand in hand, but it seems like lately here, especially the last 2 months, milk has come down quite a bit and feed has come down a little, but not anywhere near what milk has come down.
Ian, should we go over to the other side here? Let's go this way. I'll follow you. So now we're on the other side of the barn. So those are pen 5 and 6. These are pen 3 and 4. So these would be all high production cows, mainly 3rd plus lactation. No noticeable difference really if you're looking at comparing this feed to the other. If you put them side by side, maybe you can barely see a difference, but I really doubt it. So these cows, they get earlage and durum flour as a starch. The late lactation cows are just going to get earlage, and then these cows will get little less canola meal for protein, and they're going to get a little more baleage and a little more barlage or barley silage, which we're just about done with that pile. We'll see what we do from that point. Thinking about maybe going back to the sorghum. It's been pretty dry back there, or we have some Italian ryegrass baleage that we could go to, or we could just feed straight silage and just swap the barlage out and put silage in with a few little changes, and then go back to the sorghum once winter hits again and the ground's frozen by the sorghum pile. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Just went to the office and looked to see what the cost savings will be on this late lactation ration. It's about $1.25 per cow per day that these cows will be fed cheaper than if they were fed the high production ration. And of course, this late lactation pens are not getting 100% of that, so I took that into account into my calculation. Would roughly save us about $400 per day, which not a whole lot per day, but it adds up over a month time, or 2 months time, or a year's time.
So we'll definitely have to watch their production and components here over the next few tests when we do our DHIA testing, and see if we how much milk we lose and what we gain in butter, fat, and protein, and how much that changes as far as pounds of butter, fat, and protein produced per cow per day. Is that a red one? Ian was pointing out the brown Swiss and the red ones, and then quite a few cows have blue on their forehead because those were the cows that were just moved into this pen. I think we'll end this video here. Not a lot of action in this video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have questions, comments, post them down below. Try to answer them as best as I can, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Is that another brown Swiss? That's a really dark one. Yeah. Okay, should we go to OPA, Ian? We have to fix the door. Say bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.